I'm gonna forget.
All right, I got 6:32. We'll go ahead and call this meeting of the Merrimack Conservation Commission to order. This is the April 10th, 2023 meeting. There are no public hearings scheduled. We just have two items under new business. One was the Merrimack River Shed. Oh, yep, sorry. Yeah, so Mike, would you serve as a voting member tonight? And we've got everyone else. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, the first item is
Cindy or
Cindy, yes. First item is just, I want to make this part of the public record. And if those who didn't know, I think we've added it. Do you know, Ellen, if this was, I think we added this to the calendar. It's the meeting or the Merrimack River Watershed Council is going to do an invasive species training event and workshop at Scalar on April 23rd from 10 to noon. I think it's on the subcommittee calendar already. But
I'll check with ComDev and make sure, and check with Cindy and make sure that it's on the website.
Thank you. Yeah, I think Cindy might have said she was going to add it, but just a
Like it's on there yet.
procedural thing. If more than four of us show up there, we'll want to make sure that's posted. The second item, few items to call out on this. So we have a meeting scheduled for our next regular meeting is April 24th. If these agendas continue to be lean like this, maybe we'll forego doing that, which would mean our next meeting would be the annual meeting, which is May 8th. So in the event that happens, I thought I would get this on tonight. So I put a couple documents in here, or I didn't put them in. Stephanie added them for us. But two of the things, by statute that we're supposed to do at that annual meeting is elect officers and review our bylaws. And I think a third one we probably should do is we should probably come, there's so much that we do and different things are different, more important to other people. Maybe we should come prepared, if each of us gave a list of our, 2 or 3, goals for the following year. Might be helpful, just in terms of agenda management to kind of talk about those things. I know a lot of us, probably the seedling giveaway. I mean, we invest a lot of time in that, but I think a lot of us feel like that's one of the most rewarding things we do during the year. But the annual meeting would be a good time to come and talk about those things. Likewise, it would be important to, I'm not suggesting that this document's not perfect the way it is now, but there may be things, in terms of the agenda or how that's managed or anything in here that people want to make a suggestion to. It's the annual meeting where we should review this. We can do
Are
it
you
at any
referring to our
time.
bylaws?
Yeah, the bylaws. We can do that at any time, but the annual meetings where we're supposed to give this a comprehensive look over in preparation for that meeting. And if we want to suggest changes or discuss changes, that meeting's the time we should do that.
Are we going to know in advance who wishes to remain in whatever position or put themselves forward for whatever position? Or we show up that night and see what happens?
I was going to campaign on behalf of some other people in this room to serve in one of these positions. I mean, and with any organization, I think it's healthy that, the chairperson and the vice chair and the secretary don't remain in those roles forever. And it's probably time to pass the torch on some or all 3 of these. Does anyone have an interest in any of those? Must be the ones that aren't here.
We can appoint people.
I was just going to get discussed at this May 8th meeting.
Yeah. When is the seedling giveaway? That's the following Saturday.
That's the day before Mother's Day, which is the actual date. Hold on.
The 13th. It's unfortunate that our annual meeting is before that, because usually in the past, I think that's when some horse trading has gone on behind the scenes, and we've engaged some folks and cultivated interest. I think that's how
Yeah, the 13th. You were
The 13th.
yeah, May 13th.
But it made
May
sense that
13th is what?
Saturday.
I mean, what
the
is that
seedling
day?
giveaway.
Oh,
Oh, seedling giver. Sorry. Yeah, it's always a day before Mother's Day.
Mhm.
It's, or not always, but that's kind of seems where it falls. But it's also and I'll talk to Cindy because it doesn't seem to be on the calendar yet. Thought it was.
The seedling giveaway.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone needs some persuasion and would like to get with me, everyone's got my phone number. Eric, I'd be happy to field a phone call from you to talk about some of the opportunities.
well, I won't be here on May 8th.
What's going on?
You won't be here on the 8th.
so maybe
You can if you like. Yeah.
So after 10 years on the Conservation Commission, I will not be renewing my term come July. Oh, I will be asked to be appointed to the Greater Woods Subcommittee, though. But yeah, I'm burnt out after 10 years. Yeah.
Certainly, we're appreciative for those 10 years, and you'll be missed. But that there is one torch at least that'll need to be passed.
At least I get to see you in the woods every once in a while.
That's right.
We'll see plenty of them.
I'll be around.
Really, anything else about the annual meeting? Probably. No, other than that, it's a standard meeting. So those two events, that's the once a year that we have to address those. And like I said, I think it would be helpful just to kind of, every year we go to the town council and give a presentation. We, list what our priorities are. In the past, certainly in the past 2 years that I've done that, I don't feel like I've done a great job collecting that input prior to that meeting. I feel like we're jumping through hoops at the last minute, reaching out, what should we put on this slide for the following year. So the annual meeting's probably a good time to do that. And I'll make sure it's on the agenda, but yeah, that's what when you see it on the agenda, that's what we're looking for. What 2 or 3 items do you think are most important for this commission to get through?
Would it be good to have the chairs of the subcommittee support that meeting and bring their goals and see how
Wow.
that fits? So that, because
Yeah.
we support those subcommittees, right?
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, we typically invite them. We invite them.
But if they want to get their goals prioritized, it's
Mhm.
a great place
Right.
to show up and voice that.
I take that down. That's a great idea. All right. If there's nothing else on that, yeah.
I think we covered this. I think this has been brought up before. This letter from Karen from Wildcat Falls about getting a student.
I answered her on that.
Okay, you did.
You weren't on that?
No.
Sorry about that. I did. We got Tim, and what Mike is asking about, there was a request from one of the subcommittees to clarify the rules on whether whether a minor could join one of the subcommittees. The Wildcat Falls subcommittee in particular. There's someone at the high school, a faculty member had approached us with interest, and the town community development, researched it and said there's no prohibition on that. It would probably likely have to be 1-year terms, just because that would make sense if you had a high school senior.
I believe
So-
I believe she wants our approval to actually submit this letter. She sent an email.
Oh,
today.
okay. I think I gave it to her.
We've
Once-
had
Oh, you
we've
gave her
had-
the approval to submit the
Yeah,
letter?
once Tim
Okay.
Thompson said there was not a
Alright.
problem with
we've had
it.
youth members on
Okay.
Greater Woods.
I just
Greater
wanted-
Woods
Have you?
Woods subcommittee before. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that happened.
Yeah, that was another fantastic idea.
Okay.
It brings us to other business. And that is the seedling giveaway.
So, yep, so everything has been purchased. We have not obviously received it, but it's all been purchased. I went through the box. I believe we have enough supplies for this year. Next year, we'll probably need some more bags and such, but I think we have enough supplies for this year. And got a smaller amount of seedlings, but we're going to have seemingly a good variety, so.
Are you getting them or do you need help picking
There's
them
two, there's gonna be two, there's a delivery, because some of them we had to buy through Arbor Day, some of them we got from the
County?
county, I'm not gonna come up with it. There's a whole,
Hillsborough.
yeah, Hillsborough County, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. But, they're up, and they're dispensing them up in Milford at, Chapel Tractor. So
Oh,
I can
so-
shoot up there real quick, and it's not far at all. We can pick those up, so.
up? And what time do we publish? 9 to? Do we,
I believe we went 9 to noon,
9 to noon.
because people show up at 7.
Mm-hmm.
9 to noon at Courier.
Yeah, I will forward, I gotta change the flyer, because I made the flyer when we
That was my next question.
Yeah.
first did our order, and now the selection of trees has changed, seedlings, so I'm gonna redo the flyer, but I will send it out, so everyone's got it,
Okay.
and send it down to community, and they can post it wherever possible.
Make sure I get a copy. 'Cause
Yes.
Mhm.
And there was talk last meeting about Gina preparing order forms. Is that something that you were able to talk to her about?
The
Not order forms for the trees, but for people to fill out?
the little,
Yeah,
yeah, that happens already when you make the order.
okay.
So whoever does this after me gets to take my spreadsheet and do it
She's
all.
probably talking about like the
Yeah.
little tickets.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do it that way this year? Does that make sense?
We've done it that way. We didn't do it that way for order purposes. We just kind of by default started using them, but that was just so we didn't have to write the names of all the trees and all the tags. We just read a number.
Right.
And then the people that have a sheet that says, okay, number 1 is a conifer, number 2 is a whatever. So we just did it that way to make it easy to tag trees,
Mm-hmm.
because people couldn't write, gray osier dogwood, and so
Yeah.
they could just write 2.
And I'm trying to remember how, pre-COVID where we had it actually in the orchard. It almost works better outside. Is that what you're?
It's not as much of a social event. I mean, the seedling giveaway, I mean, used to be a social event. I mean, people would be in there hanging around all day and just chit chatting. So it's definitely, the flavor has definitely changed when we're doing it outside. It's kind of a pick up and go. It's
Yeah.
a takeout window versus coming into the restaurant type thing. So it's, I guess, up to us if we want to try to move it back indoors.
What's your preference?
I preferred it indoors. It was more sociable. It was more of a, getting to know people a little bit and chit chatting, which is, the whole outreach concept of what this was, But I'd have to talk to Jeff. I don't know if he wants a group of people in his orchard. I don't know. I can find out which way he wants to go. I mean, do we have a preference? I mean,
Mike, you've seen it both ways.
Yeah, I'm still not gonna be back.
Right. No.
So I won't be here. So it's up to you. I mean, I'm not gonna be there, so it's up to you guys. I mean, it is more, as Gage says, it's more social indoors. It's more drive-through when it's outdoors. I don't. We could leave it optional, have it both, either way for customers and make it comfortable for them, for people coming, I guess. I don't know, is there a way to
yeah, I
do
mean, we
that?
could set the buckets up inside and just,
We can deliver or they can come in.
yeah,
Mhm.
we could,
I've seen it both ways. I kind of liked inviting the people into the restaurant.
I mean, it also helps Courier themselves because they have
Oh, yeah.
jams and jellies and things like that that people can buy.
Oh,
So
yeah, should, yeah.
that
should
was,
do-
that was
I didn't think of that.
definitely a bonus for them, but,
Yeah. it
I'm,
should-
I'm not sure how much of that they're doing now. I mean, Eber was the one, Eber and Trudy were very proactive about making sure there was stuff available for people. But
Mm.
I can talk to Jeff and find out what he would have, if he's got any concern one way or the other, and if he wants to do that.
Have you guys seen it both ways or no?
I think indoors would be better.
Yeah. It was nice to get people in.
Yeah, it was a social event versus a pickup. It was a social event.
So is it, so for purchasing like jellies and stuff like that, is it like self-service for people coming in?
Yep, yep. That cash box and just sits
Yeah.
there all year round.
Yeah, and then people would just, select, the seedlings would label the buckets, right?
Right, we just put the
And they-
numbers on the buckets and they
Mhm.
take whatever number they want.
And people would ask tough questions about how tall does this get and what does it
Right,
look like
that's-
and so
that's
forth.
what, that's
and
what I was saying, I gotta get
would
that.
tell them to talk to Gage.
That's what I-
Gina-
Or you get on your
No,
phone.
yeah. Gina does a good job of getting a list,
Mhm.
and hey, here are the specifics about what you want, and so. And then we post that typically we post that up on the website. So people
Yeah.
can go, they don't need to have that piece of paper with them, they can go there afterwards and see.
Well, and Gina always created that 3-ring binder too,
Yep.
where you can.
Yep.
So when someone asked me, how tall does this get? And you just go to the binder.
Yep.
All right, so I guess we'll have to wait and see how Jeff feels about it.
Yeah, he's probably not gonna have a concern one way or the other, but I will find out.
So if he's okay with it, it'll probably be indoors. It's,
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
If people, and you're right, if people have some heartburn with it, fine, what do you want? We'll bag them and bring them out to you.
Mhm. I think that was it for that, on that item. If you need help picking those things up, obviously the Milford's easy enough for you to get to.
I promise I have enough buckets.
Oh, you don't even need my buckets anymore?
I promise. I told you I had enough.
No. I was so jealous too. I'm always prying my buckets apart. Gage puts little rags in between to separate them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it brings us to the approval of the minutes for March 13th.
I move that we approve the minutes of the March 13th, 2023 meeting with the following corrections. And please do take your time. I know these are lengthier than usual, and that's a tribute to Stephanie, who was able to make sense out of the recording and my notes, which were not nearly as complex.
Well done.
Yeah. A second?
Motion by Ellen, second by Mike Laver. Who would like to start?
No,
Yeah, through it.
I looked at it and I said, thank you for making mine, cleaning mine up.
I thought they were.
Mm. It was lengthy, but a lot of them were minutes from previous meetings anyhow. I looked through them, I didn't find anything.
Yeah, I did not find something to amend in my first pass earlier today.
Seeing no need for further discussion, all those in favor of approving the minutes as written? 1, 2, 3, 4. Motion carries 6-0. Andy abstained. Wow. Anyone want to make a final motion? Motion by Gage,
Second.
second by Andy. All those in favor? Wow. Motion carries 7-0.
Want me to put you down a
Meeting
second
adjourned
in a
at
minute? You got it in here.
7:52.
Feels